History isn't just about kings, wars, and inventions. Hidden beneath the surface are stories so disturbing they were left out of the textbooks. These are 10 more historical facts they didn't want you to know. This is MindShock. In 1832, medical schools in Britain needed cadavers for anatomy studies. Grave robbers dug up fresh corpses, sold them, and dumped leftover remains near bakeries. Some reports claim bone ash made it into bread ovens. People unknowingly ate bread infused with human dust. One of the cruelest punishments in history, a metal bucket filled with rats placed on the prisoner's stomach. Then, fire was applied to the bucket. The rats had nowhere to go, except into the victim. They clawed through flesh to escape, a method so painful it broke even the strongest minds. During Napoleon's disastrous march into Russia, food preservation became a matter of survival. Canned goods and experimental technology at the time seemed like the perfect solution. But they were sealed using lead-based solder. As the soldiers consumed these rations day after day, the lead leached into their food. They began to show signs of poisoning, confusion, hallucinations, extreme fatigue. Many went mad in the snow. Others simply dropped dead. Historians now believe lead poisoning played a major role in Napoleon's defeat. It wasn't just the Russian winner. It was the food meant to save them that slowly killed them instead. During World War II, Allied forces reported that Nazis were producing soap made from the fat of concentration camp victims. The world called it horrifying propaganda. But when the Red Army entered certain camps, they discovered chilling evidence. At the Danzig Anatomical Institute, SS Dr. Rudolf Spanner had created real bars of soap made from human fat. While mass production wasn't confirmed, the existence of even small-scale human soap shattered the line between myth and atrocity. It proved that some of the most grotesque rumors were based in terrifying truth. In 1849, Harvard Medical School was rocked by scandal. Dr. George Parkman, a wealthy Bostonian and benefactor, had gone missing. He was eventually discovered murdered, dismembered, and partially burned by a fellow professor, Dr. John Webster. But the horror didn't end with the trial. After Webster's execution, Parkman's brain was preserved in jars, displayed inside Harvard's medical collection. His killer lecture notes and surgical tools were also placed alongside the remains like a grotesque academic trophy case. Students walked by them for decades. The institution that failed to protect him turned him into an exhibit. Ancient Roman physicians believed epilepsy was caused by unclean spirits. So what was the cure? Drinking warm gladiator blood. After a brutal battle in the arena, crowds would rush the corpses, collecting fresh blood in jars or rags. Some even scraped liver tissue from the fallen, thinking it contained power. The belief was that consuming a warrior's essence would transfer strength and health. In reality, it was ritualized cannibalism practiced not by savages, but by one of history's most celebrated civilizations. Beneath the streets of Paris lies one of the most unsettling sights on Earth. A labyrinth of bones, stacked and arranged with eerie precision. By the late 1700s, cemeteries were overflowing. Disease spread through the air and through water sources. So the city began relocating corpses, millions of them, into abandoned limestone tunnels. Some were moved with respect. Others dumped in carts, nameless, faceless. Today, over 6 million remain underground. Tourists visit parts of the catacombs, but miles of tunnels are off limits. Urban explorers report strange sounds. Some have vanished inside never found again. During the Industrial Revolution, children weren't just workers. They were expendable tools. Kids as young as 5 worked 14 to 16 hours a day, often in dark, dangerous factories. Chimney sweeps climbed flues so tight they sometimes got stuck and suffocated. In textile mills, children crawled beneath giant machines to clean debris, and many were crushed when the gears suddenly turned. Missing limbs, burns, fatal injuries, and yet their families were told it was a privilege to have work. Outrage didn't come until years later, after thousands of innocent deaths had already been ignored. During the Black Death, panic and mass death overwhelmed European cities. With no time to confirm who was truly dead, entire families were buried alive. Victims who collapsed from fever or shock were thrown into plague pits, some still breathing. Mass burials happened so fast, there wasn't time for coffins. When coffins were used, modern archaeologists have discovered claw marks on the inside of the lids. Evidence that the dead weren't dead at all. That some people's final moments were spent trapped in the dark, screaming unheard. In ancient South and Southeast Asia, elephants were used as instruments of execution. But these weren't instant kills. They were ritualized performances. The elephants were trained to crush a limb, then wait, then crush another. Some were made to step carefully, inflicting pain without death. Others used tusks with blades attached. Crowds gathered to watch. Royal courts saw it as a public demonstration of power. It was a method both majestic and horrifying. And it lasted for over 1,000 years. A symbol of how spectacle and cruelty can walk hand in hand. These stories aren't fiction. They're facts. Disturbing, forgotten, and real. Which one shocked you the most? Comment below. And don't forget to subscribe. New episodes every Monday and Thursday. This is MindShock.